31 days of Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 31 days of Halloween in the spotlight. 31 days of Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 31 days of Halloween in the spotlight. 31 days of Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 31 days of Halloween in the spotlight.
It's a Halloween episode, kids. We're going to be talking about the Halloween franchises and the different timelines that are out there. We're going to try to make a little bit of sense of it. No, we are not because it's all fucked up, but we're going to give you our thoughts on it. I'm John Horton.
And I'm Kyle Pierson. And first of all, I want to thank whoever created this. I found it online and I stole it. But this thing is phenomenal. I think it's got all the various different Halloween installments into a one big montage. And there was no name credited for it when I saw the graphic. So I don't know if it's been stolen by multiple people, but whoever it is, if you watch this video, credit yourself in the comments, please, because I want to give you credit for stealing your graphic. This is phenomenal work, I must say. So anyway, there are 5 different timelines if you're looking at the Halloween franchise, which seem unnecessary to me, but we're going to talk about them. So let's start with the original. We've got Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. This is the timeline where Laurie is a sister to Michael, and it starts strong. We have we break off for Season of the Witch. We've come back with 4, which I thought was a strong re-entry into the world of Michael Myers. And then for me, 5 and 6 just dwindled, fell apart, and I can understand why we stopped at 6 for a while. Once we got into the tattooed man and started adding some unnecessary other plot lines, I guess they were trying to come up with a reason to sustain it. But to me, it just distracted from what we were trying to get at. And I also, once we had flames shooting out of Michael's eyes, having him be able to see perfectly in future installments always bothered me to begin with. But anyway, the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 timeline. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, the first one was great, obviously. The original, fucking great fucking work. The original Scare. That was my first horror movie after Jaws. If you want to consider Jaws a horror movie, Halloween would be my second horror movie that I was ever able to watch. And I loved it. Halloween 2. I loved it. I loved the change of setting into the hospital. Don't have a lot of films at that time going there, and it reminded me of Visiting Hours with Michael Ironside, and I love that movie too, just because of the setting. That's one of the things that really makes a movie for me, a horror flick, is where is it happening. Part 2 was great. We had a clear, total, understood ending. Loomis was burnt up. Michael was burnt up. Done. Story over. Nope. Part 4 comes along, tells you that, well, they might not have been burned as bad as you think. But I like Part 4. Part 4 was also very good. In fact, it ranks very highly out of all the movies for me because I love a lot of the things they did. They had the suspense going. They had Michael in the background where you didn't always notice him initially. Like there's one scene where the cop is sitting in his chair and out the window it's got this little speck of a white mask because he's staring at him. Hard to notice, but it grabbed a lot of that feeling of the original Halloween for me. Some of the kills were great. Kind of interesting about the multiple Michaels with all the kids wearing the mask. Great movie. I enjoyed it. Part 5 starts to fall flat. It's not as bad as 6, but I would have been happier if they would have gotten away from the man with the shoes, the silver-toed boots. I didn't like little Jamie Lloyd in the children's hospital so much because I thought that was really annoying, especially when she couldn't talk. She's going, cookie, cookie. Didn't really feel so well for that. Part six, total loss. Did my screen just go dark?
Something happened because it's like I had lost you for a second or something because my other screen, I don't know what happened. Because yeah, the same thing. It was like black for a minute or something. So I don't know if it was just you or we lost the connection or what happened.
That was fucking weird. Right when I was about ready to start talking about the curse of Michael Myers, because that's what part six is. It's the curse of Michael Myers. And I was going to really badmouth it.
It says it's still recording, so
All right.
let's
Well,
keep
part
going.
six, really bad. Jamie Lloyd all grown up and giving birth to Michael's child, the thorn thing, the old lady across the street who was part of it, the hospital doctor that's part of it, the medical procedures and all the fetuses and the jar. It just I doesn't even feel like a Halloween movie at this point. So big loss on that one.
And you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember at the time I watched these movies not realizing this, but it was researching on the internet where they said that the next timeline is Halloween 1, 2, and then we skip to H2O and Resurrection. So and that would not tie in with 4, 5, and 6. So that's its own timeline. 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection.
Right.
Now you would be that's accurate,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So because at the time that I watched those films, I had forgotten about anything that happened previously. So it's like, okay. So I didn't realize that we had switched timelines. Maybe they hadn't, it wasn't a big deal. They were just trying to let you forget. And it was supposed to be one constant thing. But I wasn't aware that we had moved. And so I leave you to discuss this one more, other than the fact that I like these films better than I liked how the original ones ended with 5 and 6. I would take these two and replace 5 and 6 for sure. I like this route better, although you missed 4, which I thought was one of the better installments.
Right. So we start off this timeline with Jamie Lee Curtis playing Laurie Strode in the first Halloween and the second Halloween. The second Halloween ends with her going away in an ambulance with presumably her new love interest, which was played by Lance Guest, Jimmy the ambulance driver. You feel that those two are going to be together. Then we go and jump forward all these years later, where the Laurie Strode character, again still played by Jamie Lee Curtis, is in hiding. She's under a fake identity and being a teacher at a private school. She has a son played by Josh Hartnett, and somehow Michael Myers. Oh, you know what it was? It was the birthday. Her son was turning 18, which is the same age that Judith Myers was turning when Michael killed her in part one. So that's what brought Michael, for fuck's who knows what reason, looking for Jamie Lee Curtis's son. And there's death and mayhem along the way as he kills people in the school.
So it's
She's
a son that makes it different and not a brother situation.
right, right,
Okay, so that's why it departs, because there's no mention of the son in the other films.
right.
Oh,
But
okay. All right. So that makes more sense.
but the thing is, realistically, they could still all be one happy family. Because if Jamie Lee Curtis, if Laurie Strode went into hiding, maybe she gave her kid, Jamie Lloyd, up for adoption. Maybe she abandoned the kid, thinking the kid would be safe while she runs off hiding. Maybe she thought Michael was still alive and still coming after. It still could have fit together, I think.
So yeah, so they
But they broke it all up into separate timelines. Why? I honestly don't even think it was separate timelines when way back when. I don't think it became a separate timeline until the new
new
three
ones,
came
yeah.
out.
Because
And
because
then they're
I
like,
never
oh
heard
shit,
of a
we could
separate
break them.
timeline until the new one, and then they're like, well, technically, there's another one. And I'm like, well, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. I didn't pay close enough attention because I saw the first two a couple times, but 4, 5, and 6 I only watched once a piece. And then and I didn't even see H2O and Resurrection when they came out. I saw them years later with my wife because she's a huge Halloween fan.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. So
Nice
then
have
we
some taste.
moved to the new timeline,
Well,
which
we haven't done part Resurrection yet.
oh,
Resurrection
okay,
comes after
okay.
H2O. That one it starts off following H2O pretty directly with Lori in the mental home and Michael coming for her. It signifies I'll stop myself there in case there's some fucker out there that hasn't seen the Halloween movies that's watching a fucking horror review of them. Um, After the initial opening with Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael, we go into brand new territory. You got a whole new cast of people that has no ties whatsoever to anybody except each other. We're back in the Myers house, which hats off to the director because the Myers house in this one, they did a damn good job matching the Myers house in the first one. It's like to me, it looked like they had the blueprints, and I actually liked some of the way it was filmed. I thought it was an interesting concept that they got the little webcams and it's a web show and people are watching. I kind of liked that.
It
The
was a
one
nice
thing that was
twist.
yeah, it was a neat. The one thing that was a real pisser for me though was Coolio. If we could take him out and maybe take him out and take what he brought to the show and sprinkle it on the other actors to get a little bit better acting performance, it might have been much better, but it wasn't horrible. That's the thing is, every single Halloween movie has something good about it. Something that you're like, that's fucking cool. Maybe just me.
We jump to the new one. We have Halloween, then the cleverly titled Halloween, then Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. In this one, we wipe out all the other sequels entirely. He's been locked up in an insane asylum this entire time. Meanwhile, Laurie's been getting ready for him for a huge battle that takes place over 3 movies. Now, I've got mixed feelings about this one. First of all, she went through a lot of trouble to build this basement that can contain them and do all this stuff. For a guy that, if you get rid of all the other sequels, didn't do that much specifically to her.
Right.
So if you wipe that out, they don't have a lot of history. They have history, but she was the one that got away. So this person died, this person, and yeah, she's pissed because her friends were killed and stuff. But 40 years have passed. So the threat of this guy continuously returning when, even though he fell off the thing, was caught shortly thereafter. I think the drama there is gone because there hasn't been a relentless battle with this guy, Michael died, over and over and over. And then we have this thing because it just feels like, I'm like, okay, this seems like overkill, especially when you get to the next one, because the next one, she's barely involved either because she's in the hospital the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm granted, something happens to her daughter. So in the last one, it's another big battle. But even that, now, oddly enough, I think Kills is my favorite of the sequels because I like some of the characters better. I like the male couple. I thought they were a really, interesting couple. I thought some of the kills were interesting. I know some people don't like the scene where there's, all these people and he just goes to town on them. I actually liked it because it shows how powerful he is. And it kind of like, since all the other kills from the sequels have been erased, now all of a sudden, how powerful is he? Not that powerful. Oh, some bitch. Guess he is powerful. So now the next movie, you really do have to go after this guy because, yeah, you thought he was down, and all of a sudden, look at what he does. But then the ending, I think, is anticlimactic because I'm like, okay, if you're going to get rid of him, and you're going to, and as soon as you see the contraption right off the bat, well, I know how this is going to end. So I'm picturing this big fight and they're knocking each other over, they're doing all this thing and they're grasping, and then all of a sudden he gets caught and he's getting pulled down, like, oh my God, and that's how it goes. Not he dies over here, and then we're just going to parade the dead body through town, and then we're going to throw him in because now it's over, and we're just stretching out this ending for no reason. And the last one has about this much to do with Michael Myers. The rest of the film is all about this other guy. And you're like, well, if this is the big dramatic finish, why do we have this other guy even in it? We should really be, this is the war. This is what we've been waiting for. The two of them to fight it out to the death. And we're spending too much time on this other Joker. And then the big finale, it's done 10 minutes before it should have been finished. And my thought was, why didn't they just keep the other timeline intact so that you like that she really has a reason to be as upset as she is in the mental state that she's in 40 years later, because every few years she thinks he's gone and the fucker pops back up again. Oh, and that's the difference, I guess, with another part of the timeline. She now has a daughter instead of a son. That's what it was. So that was my thought. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to, and I hope this isn't a trend that Hollywood keeps doing, where we keep rewriting storylines.
Oh, I hate that.
I like, just if you can't write your way out of what happened last time, then write something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Or remake it. Again, that might actually be a good opportunity for a remake. But to just sit there and say, erasing the timeline, unless it's a time travel movie, I'm not particular. I'd rather see these fan films where they try to keep things in line than somebody, a big motion picture company saying, no, we're going to go this way. And just for a side note, to talking about fan films, most of these sequels are fan films anyway, because nobody that was involved in the first ones made them. So just because the studio, whoever bought the rights, says, okay, we're going to make a movie, okay, now it's official. But these other people that are trying to sync it all together, theirs aren't official because the studio didn't say so. There's a fine line between a sequel by completely different people and a fan film these days. But that's a whole side thing. What's your thoughts on this whole new timeline?
The new timeline, huge problems with it. There's huge problems that I have with basically like what you said. Don't erase the fucking timeline. Don't erase movies. Don't say, oh, part whatever didn't happen. I hate it when any movie does that. Just keep going with the story. Figure out a way that isn't fucking lame to continue from where the last one left off.
Yeah. Because people still buy, because when you buy them, they still have them in the whole damn set. They're like, okay, here's the whole, I'm like, well, you're still getting them all anyway. So why did you skip it? Because I'm in
Right.
Independence Day Resurgence. Not much, but I'm in it. Everybody talks about how much they didn't like that one and how it's the poor one. And if they make another sequel, they should just forget about it. And like, bullshit, you better not forget about that one. That's the one I'm in. So, if you make it,
Assholes.
it better be a continuation and not a new timeline. So I'm like, yeah, don't write me off and all the people that worked on that movie. And again, I think it's a, even if the sequels are bad or
Yeah.
not necessarily bad, but not as well received. Let's say that, because again, we might not like them, and other people love them. You look at all the people that worked on those movies, just to have some other filmmaker basically shit on it and say, you know what?
Yeah.
Forget what you wrote.
You
I'm
ain't
going to
good
do
enough.
my own thing. And again, I'd almost rather you remake it and tell your own story than say, okay, we're really going to wipe you off. And I know it still exists. You can go back and watch. That's the one thing I don't have a problem with remakes. I'm like, well, it's not like the old one doesn't exist anymore. You can still rent it and watch it anytime you want. It's there. But I do think it's a little bit of a disservice when you're basically saying, I don't like what you did with this movie, so I'm going to do it a different way and erase what you did from this timeline. That I think is a different. I think that's worse than a remake, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're totally disregarding someone else's work. You're saying it's not good enough, and it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
I'm
because at
sorry.
the remake, you're kind of saluting it because it's like it was good enough that people want to see more of it, and I'm going to try to do my take on it. But when you change the timeline, you're saying, man, I really don't like what you did. I want to go a completely different way with it. Well, are you sure you like this franchise? Because if you do like this franchise, you'd figure out how to continue with it.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So I don't, that's my opinion might change a year from now, but right now, that's my thought on it.
I didn't
All
like
right.
the way that they erased it. And really, one of the other problems I have overall with all three of them put together, that those three movies, why is everyone so pissed off? I mean, you wiped out everything. So realistically, 40 years ago, he killed what? Three or four people? And then 20 years before that, he killed one person? And the whole fucking town's gonna go that ape shit that they chased down a man and beat him to death because 40 years ago this shit happened. Isn't that a bit excessive?
Yeah, that
Are you
is that.
holding
Yeah,
on to too much of a grudge?
yeah, yeah. That's the whole thing is just crazy. I tried to wrap my head around it, and another thing I liked about the second one, because I remember in the first one, I'm thinking, well, you're having a hard time explaining how we got to where we are today. And I think the second one, where they did the flashbacks to how the first one ended, and here's what you didn't see, I like that. I'm like, okay, you're helping restore this timeline by, filling in the gaps. So I did. That was another element I liked about Halloween Kill. I think it was Halloween Kills that did that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I like what the second one tried to do that the Halloween didn't. Um, but also, if you're going to make a sequel, don't call it the same title. I'm getting really sick of these these reboots that are sequels that have the same name as the original, and then you're trying to, it works now, but 10 years from now, when someone's trying to watch the movies in order, you're like, what, it's Halloween, then Halloween again? Yeah. Well,
Right.
I think I just watched the wrong Halloween. Was I supposed to watch? No, you want to watch this Halloween. Oh, I see. I see. I watched this Halloween. So yeah, it's or maybe people aren't as stupid as I say.
I think
But
there are too many stupid people out there. I mean, to this day, if you go on Facebook to this day, you will still find people saying, "What's the timeline?"
yeah,
And you will
yeah.
still find people saying about the original John Carpenter version, "Well, who taught him to drive? Who taught him to not die?" That same person taught him to drive. Fuckhead. I also liked a little bit of Halloween Ends. I kind of like the fact that they had the kid in it, this new character. If he would have lived, if they would have kept him alive, that way they could start a whole
But
different franchise apart from Halloween.
I thought that was the point. I'm like, they're
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
do this, and they've already built in a way to continue the saga without having Michael Myers. This guy is going to take over. He's going to grab the mask. He's going to put it on his damn, because that's what I thought. Michael was going to get pulled into this thing, and the mask was going to fall off and lay next to it. And this, then all of a sudden the mask is gone, and this kid was going to have it. That's I from the very beginning, I thought I had a whole ending written, and none of
Yeah.
that happened. And I'm like, well, this is one of the cases where I think I may have had a better,
Yeah.
because
And he
it's coming
fucking
back
killed
again.
himself.
Eventually, it's coming back. They're
Oh yeah.
these. I just heard they're announced Friday the 13th is being rebooted with some wrestler is going to play Jason.
Yeah, I
So
heard that.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, here we go. And there's the prequel series with Crystal Lake. And all right,
Mhm.
moving on. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is a one-off, has nothing to do with the Michael Myers movies. It's a completely different story, so you can watch the other ones. You don't have to watch 3 at all. Or if you want to, you can watch 3 and forget all the Michael Myers movies. I'm gonna shake up the shake the tree a bit. This is actually my favorite Halloween movie. It's Season of the Witch.
My wife
Um,
too.
yeah, it's not just a regular slasher movie. I didn't know what to expect. It's not a movie I go back and rewatch because snakes terrify me. And the sequence where they're wearing that damn mask and all of a sudden bugs and spiders and snakes and shit come out of this kid, I'm like, oh my God. And I was just like, and it was one of the scariest sequences to me. This thing's got robots in it, and then at the end, um, you don't know exactly how it ends. They're trying. I'm not going to give it away, but they're trying to do something, and then boom, you don't know what happens. And I really like that ending. It wasn't one of these where you felt shortchanged or you're like, oh my god, they left it open for a sequel. It was just a really cool non-ending ending, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what do they make it? So this one always stands out as one that you can just go back, you can watch it by itself. The only reference it has to the original is the fact that there's a trailer for Halloween playing. I think it's in a bar or something. You see it on a TV screen. So they're saying Halloween is just a movie in that respect. But yeah, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. If you're a Michael Myers fan, you may not like it at all, but you have to just look at it and say this is a completely separate entity that should have just been called something else entirely.
Season of the Witch is fucking great. It's a fucking awesome movie. Tom Atkins is a fucking pimp in this movie. It's got some of the most creative kills I've seen. I mean, the hospital scene where he goes in and gets, or the head scene. I mean, that's got a lot of shit to it, and it is completely different. That's the direction that they wanted to take the Halloween series. Is every year have a completely different standalone film, like an anthology, like Tales from the Crypt, like what they were doing. You had Demon Night, and then Bordello of Blood, and then they did one that was about voodoo that was a direct-to-video release, I think. That's what Halloween was originally set out to do. They made Michael Myers 2, and then we're going to do individual standalone films. One of my favorite movies, definitely my wife's favorite in the whole series. She loves it. So you don't like snakes, huh, Kyle? I,
Weird is that
I
like Raiders of the Lost Ark didn't faze me. I don't
really,
understand why. But then when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, there's a scene where he's in quicksand and Marion's trying to find a rope or something to throw him, and then she brings the snake into the screen, and I literally threw popcorn up in the air. It scared. I was like, "Oh, she." And anytime I'm watching a movie, I'm like, oh my God, the Bullet Train movie. There's a snake in that whole damn freaking movie, and I'm sitting there half the time like, I can't watch it. I had a dream once. I was wearing one of those shirts that has like the big armhole in it on both sides, it's like the muscle shirts, or I don't know, in the dream. And I'm running through this forest. There's snakes hanging from every limb of every tree. And as I'm walking or I'm running, I'm getting air cupping this thing, and it's pulling, the snakes are getting pulled into my shirts. And I woke up, dove out of bed, just dripping from sweat. It scared my wife's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Scared. I don't know what it is. And like I said, Raiders of the Lost Ark with all those snakes didn't bother me. But I watch other movies and a snake pops up for a second and I jump up. I was at my wedding. There was this little snake and I jumped up, and I was like, everywhere when I was living in a house in Lansing, removed my sandbox. I had a sandbox, so I picked it up, and there was a whole bunch of gardener snakes under it. It freaked me out. One time I walked off my porch, and there was a snake slithering between my legs as I was walking. That scared me. We had one of those bricks. I forgot what they're called, but they look like the Roman numeral 3, where there's 2 holes in them. The bricks.
Yeah.
And my dad was spraying them because he said there was a snake in it, and a snake over a meter long came out of this small little space. And there was so many snakes when I grew up, and for some reason, I don't know where it was and when. It may have been this damn movie, but yeah, I know I wasn't scared till then, and I've been scared ever since. Of snakes, petrified. So I love this movie when I saw it, and I have never went back and watched it again because I don't know if I can sleep. I think I'll have a really bad dream or a nightmare. But I remember, and the song, I can't get the song out of my head. 8 more days till Halloween, silver shamrock, watch the magic pumpkin, watch. I remember it vividly, but I can't go back and watch it again.
Well, I think there might be a movie coming out in December that you might not like very much. I think it's going to be something you'll really be unhappy to go and see.
You mean the Countdown to Anaconda? When I first got excited about this movie, I'd forgotten the fact it's snakes. But then I thought about it, like, it's a comedy. It's not going to be spooky, scary, so I'm going on the assumption. That's why I saw the Anaconda, the first couple Anaconda movies, because that snake looked so freaking fake that I'm like, this doesn't faze me. This doesn't bother me at all. But this Christmas, December 25th, Jack Black and Paul Rudd will have me laughing in the aisles when Anaconda is remade into a comedy. That's right, Anaconda, the comedy, coming to theaters this Christmas.
Anaconda is going to be an Anacomedy?
Oh! We went from the Anna Countdown to Anacomedy. See, you're getting into it. I knew if I pressed by the time this movie came out, you're going to be hooked. This is going to be the film of Christmas season.
No.
This holiday, Anaconda. Don't you dare sit there and like, okay, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to watch Christmas Vacation, or I'm going to watch Scrooged, or I'm going to watch It's a Wonderful Life. You get the kids, you get the snake popcorn tub that you know they're going to have, and you watch Anaconda.
How'd that go?
Kinda.
Yeah.
So that's 4 timelines. This time, Rob Zombie came along and remade Halloween and a
See,
Halloween 2.
see, he remade it. He
He
didn't try
remade
to
it.
say, I'm going to ignore everything you did. He
He
remade
says,
it.
you know, he was a fan. He says, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to tell it a different way. And you can still watch the originals, but this is my take on it. Personally, I thought Halloween wasn't the worst Halloween, or his version of Halloween wasn't the worst Halloween movie ever made. I thought it was one of the worst movies ever made. I it There is so much screaming in this movie. And they're not, a lot of it isn't when they're killing anybody. It's just family members screaming and, just screaming and screaming and screaming. And my wife and I were looking at each other and we're like, there's no freaking way we can keep watching this movie. And we're like, well, we got to try. And again, she was a huge Halloween fan. And I don't remember how far we got, but we finally said, nope, I'm turning this off. We either got to turn the volume off and watch
Wow.
this thing, or we're not going to get to the end. And we couldn't do it. We just, nope. And we didn't watch the sequel. So I can't comment on the sequel at all. But I, it was just, and I know there's some people that think it's better than the original. But for me, I just thought it was so excruciatingly loud and obnoxious that I didn't care what the hell happened in this movie. I want to watch something else. So I'm like, if I'm going to sit through a Halloween movie, let's go back and watch the original Halloween movie instead.
I will agree with you that the movie, they shouldn't have made it so fucking trailer trashy, because that's what it was. The beginning was just pure, to me, it was pure
It was a
trailer
Jerry
trash.
Springer episode.
Yeah,
It felt like a
exactly.
Jerry Springer. Everybody's up and running and screaming and doing. I'm like, what the hell is
Baby,
this?
babies crying, they're cursing at each other and calling them fucking, they're using foul language, not just fucking shit. They're using some foul fucking language. And I was just like, God, this is horrible. When you got past that, when Sherry Moon Zombie finally goes to the strip club to start stripping, which you never see, so that's not where I'm going.
Mm.
And the little shit, I can't stand that kid that played young Michael. I can't stand him. Dag French or Dog French or French Fry or whatever the fuck his name is. I can't stand him. But when he goes and murders everyone in the house, then it starts to become a tolerable movie. Now, the one thing I'll say about the original, the first one, Rob Zombie film that is blasphemous to most people is the fact that I actually liked Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis better than Donald Pleasance because, yeah, the way that Zombie did it, it showed more of a relationship between young Michael and Loomis. It showed you why Loomis was so invested in this kid when he breaks out
Okay.
and goes
That's
on this.
interesting. And I do
I
like
thought it was,
Malcolm McDowell.
what's that?
And I do love Malcolm McDowell. I have his signature somewhere in here.
Exactly. You ought to go back and try to watch it after that opening sequence. I mean, you can even skip till just fast forward till when he offs the boyfriend. Shit. The hell's the guy's name? Forsyth. You can fast forward till he kills off William Forsythe and then just pick it up from there. And it's not too bad. I mean, it's not the greatest movie, but it's not a horrible mess. They get away from all the okay, wait a minute.
Well, maybe they don't.
Scratch that. Because they get pretty fucked. Okay, there's another scene in the movie where it's grown up Michael inside of the asylum that is A, not necessary, and B, pretty damn vile and disgusting. Um, Depending on which version you watch, because there's two different versions of the asylum. One involves a rape. The other one just involves two nasty ass orderlies. But okay, so the movie's got problems. I like Loomis better in Rob Zombies, and that's, I guess, really about it.
What about the second one?
The second one, there's very little redeeming qualities about the second one. I mean, it's still
That's why
got
there's
some.
no part
It's
three.
got Weird Al.
Really?
Yeah, Weird Al has a cameo in it
It's unexpected.
where he's making fun of Dr. Loomis, Malcolm McDowell. Yeah, that one's a fucking mess. They spend, God, like 20 or 30 minutes on the beginning, and you don't even know if it's a dream sequence or if it's really happening. And then,
Man, really? I hate that. I
yeah,
hate that.
I still don't even know if it was a dream sequence, to be honest. I don't know. They never really say. They kind of treat it that way, but it also could have been like really happened. It's like a repressed memory or some shit. I don't know. But it's got more nasty, vile people in it. More trailer trash, vulgar people. And I sound like a fucking prude, and you know I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say for this. Well, that's the thing. Both of us are probably. You probably come across. I probably come across more prudish than you, just because
You are.
I am. But the thing is, I will. I'm not prudish, and I will say and do quite a bit of shit, and I will watch.
Which you'll see eventually.
Yeah, and I will watch. I'm not. I will watch quite a bit. It takes a lot to offend me, and it wasn't even the content of the movie. It was the decibel level. It was just so. And the same thing with this is a Christmas Story. I don't know if I brought this up before, but I'm used to watching A Christmas Story on television. As everybody does, it's on 24 hours. You watch A Christmas Story. And there's a lot of commercials. And it makes the movie, while you're doing other stuff around the house, or maybe you're watching it. And I got the DVD from my father-in-law. So I'm like, okay, don't have to watch commercials this year. We can watch the entire movie. And I didn't realize once you take the commercials out, how often those kids scream in that movie. They scream a lot. And it is obnoxious. And it's the same thing. I'm watching it on the DVD. I'm like, man, this movie is hard to watch because it goes from one screaming sequence to another screaming sequence to another screaming sequence. And I was like, holy cow, shut the hell up, kids. And, I feel like, I'm getting too old for this. But
Yeah.
even the adult movie, I was tired of the screen. I'm like, man, just enough already. But when you're watching it with the commercials, it breaks it up, so you don't notice it. But you put it all together in one movie, seamless without commercials, and those kids scream throughout this entire freaking movie. And maybe I am just getting old, and I just don't want to, I can't deal with it. But if I'm in a restaurant and I hear one baby screaming, I'm like, really? I can't take it. You watch an entire movie of kids screaming and it's a lot. So
I'll go along with that.
Merry
I
Christmas.
don't so much get. I am getting older, and a lot of the shit is just like the Rob Zombie Halloweens or any Rob Zombie movie for that matter. People just don't need to talk like that. I mean, maybe they do in real life, but you don't need to put it on the screen. There's no point in it.
Mhm.
And the screaming. Yeah, if you're in that situation, you're gonna scream. You're gonna holler, you're gonna cry, blah blah blah. I can't watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre because there's too much fucking screaming. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah. I like the remake better because it's a little bit more down to earth. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
this is more realistic. I'm not hearing some like shut up,
exactly.
take it like a man for Christ's sake. so yeah, I'm one of those that I everybody likes the original. I'm like, no, this is one of the few times I like the remake. It's just because
Exactly.
it's toned down a level.
Mhm.
Um,
There was a
but yeah,
movie that just came out recently, maybe like last year or the year before, that was about a killer robot Santa Claus. It was on the streaming. It went straight to streaming.
I think I saw the thing for it, the poster ad or the banner for
Yeah.
it, but I didn't see it. But I saw that and I'm like, well, that looks unique.
Yeah. I thought it might be cool. Yeah, I'll watch. I'll sit down and watch damn near any horror movie except Balloon Shark and Anacondas. I won't watch those. Um, however, don't you
Speaking
dare
of
touch me.
anacondas, coming this Christmas, December 25th, Paul Rudd, Jack Black, Anaconda.
Kinda.
I
Uh, fuck. Now Robot fucking Santa.
rode
I thought it'd
your
be
robot
good.
Santa.
I thought it would be good, and I sat down to watch it, and I couldn't get through. At the 10-minute mark, I said, I can't stand listening to these people talk about sex anymore, and they was just so fucking vulgar. I'm like, what happened to me? I can't do this. No, I
Yeah,
don't even think I could watch a porno with the volume up anymore.
thing is, what was it? Because I told you I was looking for one of the Hellraisers, and it was the Revelations. So I found it online, and I'm like, okay. So I downloaded it to watch, and I saw the first couple minutes just to make sure it was the whole thing was there. And yeah, and it's just two guys talking about, it was all sexual talk, but it was as immature aspect of it as it could be.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't mind it, if it's funny or relates to the story, but when it literally sounds like two 12-year-olds talking. And you and I will make jokes, and yes, they're very immature. And I get that. And so that's why we're saying we're not prudes and any, but when it goes on for so long and you're like, okay, I do need some sort of content, that jumps beyond this. I remember
yeah.
I was at the drive-in and I saw it was two movies and I felt really lousy after the first one, so I left. So as I was leaving, we could still hear the audio for the second film, and the second film was 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh God.
And so all we heard was them talking about, the guys talking about wanting to have sex and how, he's like, well, it's like sandbags or something. And I'm like, man, this movie just sounds so juvenile. I have no
Exactly.
desire to see this movie. And then it was on HBO or some damn thing. And I'm like, well, everyone's talking about how funny it is. Let me give it a second chance. And then when I saw it in context, where, it's a guy that hasn't had sex trying to pretend he has sex with two guys that are bragging about sex who probably don't have it as much as they say they do. I got the humor in it, and I'm like, okay. And then from there, the movie branched off, and it was actually one of the funniest movies, I've seen. I love 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's hysterical. But yeah, if you they wrote it in the right way. But if you take it out of context, yeah, it's just juvenile. But if you put it in context, you're like, okay, it's still juvenile, but it's funny and it explains what this whole damn movie is about. By the way, Paul Rudd can be seen.
Oh my God. I fucking knew you were gonna do that. I
And
fucking knew you were gonna do that.
It's Christmas.
Fuck. Did we finish all these fucking movies?
This is going to be like the damn movie that's playing now. One battle after another. If you go to the theater for the last 3 or 4 months, the trailer for that has been playing in front of every freaking movie. And like I said, my wife and I go to a movie every day. Well, not every day, but we went to 3 movies in 3 days, last week. And I'm like, good God, man. There's some movies that you can't wait to come out just so you don't have to see the trailer anymore. And that is one of them. I'm sure it's a fantastic movie, but I'll get to it eventually. But good God, so yeah, I one more time, Anacast.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Kyle.
So anyway, that wraps up our reviews of the Halloween timelines, all 5 of them from the Halloween franchise. And we just want to wish you a very, very happy Halloween. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Halloween franchises. Give us any other suggestions for, if you got this far, you got to be interested enough to hear our opinions on franchises. So drop them down. I know you're going to mention Friday the 13th and Hellraiser and all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. But if there's another one you want us to review, let us know. Tell us if we're full of crap. Tell us that Halloween 3 is the worst movie you've ever seen. Tell us if Rob Zombie is the one who brought life into a useless Halloween franchise and that's actually the best one. Tell us whatever you want. We want to hear it.
Even if it means saying Anaconda's gonna suck. We'll... Coming this Christmas, just hit it on you.
I would never.
All right.
So what's funny is every time I pop that up, you have to also put the new date and days. So every time that came up, you've got to do work. So,
oh, for fuck's sake!
I should have left it blank, but no, you're gonna have to cover that up. So, and with that.
What the hell are you? Nope.
And with that, we want to wish you a happy Halloween, and we'll come back with some specials for the holiday that's coming up. Christmas, maybe a little thing for Thanksgiving, who knows? But we do want to wish you a happy Halloween. For In the Spotlight, I'm Kyle Pierson.
And I'm John Horton. Are you having a heart attack?
Just a friggin' blood vessel. Yes.
Wow, you really need to fix those eyes.
That's what I should have started off. Once I do the laugh, I can do the character.
There you go.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy. Oh, I thought we already did that part.
Oh, where are we still going?
Fuck if I know anymore.
Show's over.
Leave us a comment down below if you want us to keep going.
Nobody's watching. You should put just crickets.
I can put crickets in.
Oh.
That's not a cricket, Kyle.